Hello and welcome back to the channel and to my very, very messy home. So we're going to address this today, and I'm also going to chat about some priorities that have shifted. If you have been watching the channel for a while, you know I share the hard stuff on here, and I share the really beautiful stuff in our family as well. So pardon these shaky clips. I don't know what was going on with my camera here, but it won't be like this forever. But I did want to share you where we're starting in this house. It doesn't always look this messy. Sometimes it looks worse than this. But if you've been following along, you know that there's been some things like health-wise that have led up to the house looking like this, and we've just been living life, and that's good. That's the time for that. So I'm going to talk to you about some of the priorities that have shifted. There's a few on this channel, in friendships, in my marriage, and with my children, and also with my own use of social media. So those are the things we're going to chat about today, and I think that it could be really encouraging to you as well. If you are in the mood for this type of content. I know it's a little bit different than my normal. So we're going to first get started though with baking some bread, because that is always a good thing to do when resetting the home, at least in my opinion. So we're actually about to go out of town, and so I wanted to make sure that I had some bread for when we got home. I put mine in the freezer. This is sourdough that I'm making, but you could freeze any bread, even if it's like yeast bread, and it freezes really well. So I just wanted to make sure that I had this ready so that when we got home, I could pull this out and have something homemade and ready, so that it wouldn't be as stressful when we got home. All right, so let's dive into my first priority shift. Personally, for me, this has been with friendships. This has just been coming up a lot. So I wanted to read this quote that I heard on the Abiding Together podcast. It's on tenderness. This is by St. JP2. So tenderness is the ability to feel with and for the whole person, to feel the most deeply his spiritual tremors, and to always have in mind the good of that person. Tenderness creates a feeling of not being alone, a feeling that his or her whole life is equally the content of another, a very dear person's life. I heard this quote and immediately thought of how disconnected I have felt to my friends lately. Even though I see my friends very often, we often have children with us, and it is a little chaotic. And then even though I know I'm going to make some people upset by saying this, but I think that our use of social media, and I'm part of it, creates divisions between us more than we know. Because instead of having these conversations where things authentically come up and where we practice knowing, Cassian's face here, where we practice knowing and like asking questions and being intentional, those things are already known ahead of time, and we've had maybe shallow conversations or likes online. And so I've definitely been praying about the possibility of just like deleting Instagram, and I think that would be really healthy for me. But we'll see. I don't know. I think that in this season of life, it might be something I need to do, and then I could jump back in later, because I think there are some really beautiful aspects of social media. But I've just been worn down by them lately, and I've just been taking a few days off. That has like been the best thing for me, is just deleting it for a few days, like delete the app, not just like log out, because that's too easy to go back in, but delete the app for a few days and then like hop back on has been really good. But that has been a priority shift of mine, is really just trying to be more intentional with my friends, and it takes practice getting back to that. So what I just did in this bedroom was doing the worst task of in my opinion, was putting away the laundry. I just wanted to try to get that one done before Cassian's nap, and I'd been kind of avoiding it. So if you are avoiding cleaning up your house, start with the task that you are dreading the most, get it done, and then the rest will feel a lot more easy and a lot more simple. So I took out one loaf of bread, and then I always double my batch. I will link down below my sourdough beginner's recipe, because It is much more simple than I thought it was. And I definitely like over fermented this bread. You can see how like huge it had gotten, so it just like rose for too long, but it still worked out just fine. So I think it's a very flexible thing. So anyway, let's talk about the next thing that I have really been prioritizing lately, and that is hospitality. And I love having people over to my home. It can be stressful with children because the house will be like ready, and then, you know, something will happen in the bathroom and it is like not ready. Like not just like not ready because things were a little messy, but like big stuff. But something that I have been praying about is how I can just be a better host. And something that I've realized I do, which is, I think a lot of us do this, is we kind of apologize for the things in our home that aren't maybe ready perfectly, or like, let's just take, for example, like a spill, like a crumbs underneath the table or something, and then all your guests are gonna sit down and you might like apologize for this mess of crumbs under there. And I read somewhere that attitude, when we apologize, it makes our guests then turn from being comforted in our presence to having to actually comfort us by saying something like, oh, it's okay. And that's the last thing that we want. We want to comfort our guests. And so of course and it also affirms to them, or it reminds them and tells them that their messes at their own home, because we all have them, are flaws, and it reminds them of their own flaws. And so those are hard habits to break. And I will say that, like, now that I've been made aware of those things, I think oftentimes when we're made aware of things, then we can start being really hard on ourselves and really like fearful of doing things because it's like we're overthinking so much. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I tend to like overthink things, and then I become less open and less available to those people around me because I'm like in my head so much. I hung up Cassian's little Easter outfit here, and I thought it looked so sweet, and then just added some flowers to make this room a little bit more springy. I just swap out like the outfits that I have hanging on these hooks, and I think it looks really cute, and it uses functional items kind of as decor, which is great. All right, so let's chat about something that I didn't share about back in January. And it was actually that I almost gave up on making YouTube videos. Like I reached a wall. And I'm going to talk about why that happened. I didn't want to share about it here during that time just because I kind of have just like a distaste for the YouTube drama that seems to be created around that often. But I do want to share about it because I think a lot of you all will relate to it, especially if you are in the throes of like trying to balance a career with motherhood, or even just like career with a passion project, or whatever those like two passions are that might be pulling at your heart simultaneously. So what happened in January was everything kind of like came to a head. What I had been using was my phone and to edit and to film everything. And I was trying to edit a video. Do you guys remember when I had a 1 hour long thrifting video? It was insane. It did like really well on the channel, so I'm glad for that. And it was really fun. It was with my mom. And but that video turned my phone into like mush. Like, I mean, I don't understand a lot of the technical stuff, but pretty much it was taking up all of the RAM in my phone, and just I was not able to use my phone to like, I needed to call like Gideon's school, my 5-year-old, my kindergartner's school, and I couldn't even do that. Like I was only able to FaceTime, and then it wouldn't do Google Maps. So I like, and I'm pretty dependent on Google Maps, y'all. I'm not good at directions. I couldn't like use anything. And I was going to the Apple store. I had to go 3 times. Every time they thought they fixed it, and then it wouldn't be working. And I was like, just delete my video, like just delete it. And they were like, we can fix it. They were trying so hard to fix it. And I'm like, this darn video that's just like, I couldn't get it off of my phone pretty much. Like it was like kind of stuck there in my editing software. And so we were just like in this limbo period, and it was so frustrating for me. And then so I ended up just like, all right, I'm going to invest. I got a laptop and a computer, a laptop and a camera. And I got this rug a few weeks ago and I forgot to cut off the tag. Like, it's just been there for a while, but I really like this rug because it's a lot bigger, because it kind of allows dirt to like stay there more. It's helped a lot. So if you don't have a big rug in front of your front door, a big rug is really helpful. And this one I got at Home Goods. Anyway, so I was going to this Apple store so many times. So I ended up buying, investing in good equipment for this. And I was really like, is this worth it? Like, is this worth it? Because I had so much to learn with the new equipment. And the verse from Matthew 6:24 goes, no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. So for me, this wasn't about, choosing between God and money, or choosing between God and YouTube, or my kids and YouTube and career. This was more about me feeling like every time I wanted to sit down and do YouTube things, I felt like I should be doing motherhood things. And every time I was doing motherhood things, I felt like I should be doing YouTube things, because everything was mixed together and there wasn't a clear definition and dedicated time that I could devote to the things that I do love. And so I was trying to serve these two masters at the same time. During that time, I realized that I needed to reset things. So just like how I need to reset my house, I know a lot of us get this urge, this feeling to like reset, adjust things in the spring because things are new. There's this newness of life outside. And so we bring that into our own hearts as well. And I think that's really good for our souls. Like, thank goodness we do have seasons that help us in these times that we need. And right now we're in Lent. I'm practicing Lent. So it's like the 40 days before Easter. And they always say that things come to the surface during Lent, and things have definitely been coming to the surface. So that is a shift. I bring all of this up with the YouTube stuff, like why I was struggling with it and all, because I have shifted my priorities to really not allowing myself to think about two masters at the same time. Like, I have really tried and focused. I actually was praying really intensely at that time to find a babysitter, and I have found two babysitters. So I have help now for 6 hours a week between the two of them. And it's been so life-giving for everyone in our family, because I'm able to be more intentional with my children when I'm with them, and more intentional with this channel when I'm working on it. It's not just like squeezed in between nap time when I feel like I should be doing something else. Like, this is dedicated time. And so I know that is a blessing right now. And it took me almost 3 years to get to that, because we couldn't afford to get to that yet. So if you are in the season of like, it doesn't work out to do anything but like hustle, then that's what you got to do. That's what you have to do in that season. But coming out through the other side, it is so worth it. As soon as you can, like, get some help, or devote that time where you really are more intentional and you have a hard stop on things, your creative passion project or whatever it might be. It's so, so important. I shared this bedroom reset makeover here on the channel recently, and you guys loved it so much, and I loved it so much. It didn't get a ton of views on the channel, and that's okay. I just think it turned out so beautiful. So that was worth it to me, absolutely. So if you missed it, go check it out. I did like a lot of pattern drenching in here. What I'm doing here, by the way, is putting away returns. Oh goodness, if you have a pile of returns, let me just motivate you right now to just get them done. It feels so good to like pack it up. I ordered some stuff from Quince, which is a brand that I absolutely love for their bedding, and I ordered some of their clothing, which was the first time I've tried their clothing, but I got like my size wrong, so I needed to exchange some of those things. So we're moving on to my bathroom, which wasn't like super bad. Remember, we're not doing a deep clean here. We're not even there yet. We're just doing the tidy up. I think that's a really lovely way to add some spring, is adding some greenery into your bathroom. Just get a little thrifted vase. I have this little thrifted vase up here that's like handmade pottery ceramic. It has kind of just a good design on it, and I put some dried eucalyptus in it, and it's there all the time. Absolutely love that. You could also do some like propagation. So if you have a plant that is able to be propagated, just cut that and put a little stem in there, and it just adds a little bit of greenie, a little bit of life. I know I'm saying life, but mine is like a dried eucalyptus, but still it does something. All right, we are going back to the kitchen, and my sourdough bread was nice and cooled, and so we wanted to slice that open. The crumb looks pretty good. You can tell, I guess, by how good the sourdough bread is, like how well it was fermented and stuff, by how even the bubbles are dispersed in there, like the holes and everything. All right, so at the kitchen sink here, I thought it would be a good time to say this quote that my aunt actually shared with me, and I thought it was just so like just fun, like, and just just a good one. It is just, don't let your kitchen sink shine more than you do. How good is that, y'all? I just think that I've been focusing and prioritizing taking care of myself more in this season, kind of like not in a way of like, oh, get my body back or anything like after having 3 kids, but just in a way of treating myself really well so that I can be healthy. I actually pulled my back like 2 weeks ago. Now it's 2 weeks ago. And it was part of the reason why the house was looking so rough, just because I like avoided bending over for about 3 days. But it was a good reminder to me of how far I still need to go. I still need to take care of myself. I mean, I pulled my back lifting Cassian, like pretty much holding him and bending over at the same time to pick up something at the beach and carry like a bunch of stuff. And it was just not a good idea. So I really am trying to prioritize my health more, take better vitamins, exercise more, all of those things, take care of my marriage more so that I can serve those around me. And, you know, it's okay if my house gets a little bit less shiny, as long as I am shinier. Then that's really good too. Cassian's hair was looking a bit mangy, so I gave him a little snip in the kitchen while he was eating his food. This is how we get it done. You mamas out there, you guys know it's so funny because I have this channel, and sometimes I share the more like sit down talking head videos, they call it, but often I'm like sharing the real stuff, like walking around the house, doing stuff with my kids present and everything. And I think it has the potential to either make you extremely critical when you watch yourself, or it has the potential to show you how you can be a better person. And so, not that I'm encouraging you all to like start your own YouTube channel, although absolutely, if you want to, absolutely encourage it. I recommend it. But I think watching myself, especially when I'm mothering here and videoing that and editing it, it gives me the opportunity to reflect and review what I want to do more of and what I want to do less of. I did a grocery pickup after I went to pick up Gideon from school, and we just got this done real quick so we would have some stuff when we got back into town. That is a huge thing that I always try to do, is have the fridge with like at least 2 meals ready to go, and things that aren't going to spoil, like these tomatoes. I can restock my little tomato thing on the counter, and like that'll be fine for a few days while we're gone, and then we won't be stressed when we get back and have like no fresh food in the house. Nutella on fresh sourdough, if you haven't tried it, you are not living. You need to try this. It's my favorite. This is my favorite treat. I always keep my expectations super low for after school because the kids just need a lot of stuff and I want to be present with them. So I really did not get too much done. I just hung out with them, and that's good. That's what needs to happen. But I am going to show you my dining room table that is new. I got it on Facebook Marketplace and I was so excited about it. But it's been unfortunate. So it just like has turned out to not be as child friendly as we were hoping it to be. And so I might resell it. I don't know. I'm still deciding. If you guys, you're going to see it in just a minute. I want you guys to let me know what you guys would do with it. So the chairs with the rush seat, they're the wood back, ladder back thing. Those are not the ones I'm talking about. I'm actually talking about the leather ones over there, and they match the table. They have wrought iron legs. The table does as well. And I realized I had a tablecloth on this, so you're really not going to get a good look at it. But I'm going to do a spring home tour soon so that you can get a better view of it. Unless I've sold it by then. So I don't know, I'll put a picture on the screen of like what these chairs look like, because they're really, really cool, just not as practical as I was hoping. Anyone else have a random boxes full of sheets in your dining room? Yep, I did. This was just from options that I had from my bedroom makeover. So it felt good to get everything put away back where it was supposed to go and just out of the dining room. And just like that, that was pretty much my entire day of just tidying the house. It was just what needed to get done. But I'm going to show you now some before and afters. I have a little hot take here. I know that a lot of people do the like timer method, and they just like set a timer and then try to get the room done in like 15 minutes or whatever they set the timer for. That works well for me, but this worked extremely well for me. Taking a picture, even it doesn't have to be a video, but take a picture of the before and then take a picture of the after in your home. I challenge you to do it and let me know if you try it, if it works well for you. I think it was very effective for me on this day. I hope that some of the quotes or just ideas and thoughts that I'm sharing could have given you some inspiration, some food for thought in your season and your walk of life as well. Please let me know if any of them really stood out to you. I think that hospitality, friendships, our use of social media, and just growing closer to the Lord, growing into a season of a lot of growth in the summer is a really beautiful aspect of spring. And of course, it's going to be hard in some seasons, but someone said on here, and I'll share one last little quote, and that is that the cracks are so important because the cracks are what let the light in. I hope that you all have a very, very blessed week, and I will be back next week for a thrifted versus styled video. I think it's going to be super fun. I'm going to give you guys lots of ideas what to thrift for in this spring and summer season. I hope that you all have a very blessed week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.